what shall I say? I mean, look at this.
Pretty great landscape, I think.
It's pretty good.
Some big mountains, some vineyards. We're pretty good.
It's a little bit humbling, right? I mean, we're in Switzerland, obviously. I mean, everybody can see this, hopefully. Cool Climate Wine Summit exhibitor interviews with our 2025 and 2026 exhibitor, Mabillard-Fuchs, Lionel.
Exactly, yeah.
Great to meet you here, actually.
Happy to have you here.
Valais. Right?
In Valais.
Valais, as you call it.
As you want it.
And do you know roughly how old these mountains are?
Oh, a few millions.
A few millions
years. Yeah, we're in the middle of the Alps.
I mean, honestly, I think we probably will also talk about it regarding your wine style and your approach to winemaking, but I find it really humbling to be here. As it makes you really like a humble human being to be here and be in this magnificent landscape that has been there so much before humanity and will be there so much after us.
Exactly. And you feel it every day, and I think I will feel it for the rest of my life. It will always be like that.
And we are up at 800 meters, 700 meters
approximately? Yeah, we're around 700 meters here, Yeah, the vineyards will go from 550 down, and in our village, the highest is 850 meters high.
850 meters high. And I mean, quickly to come into the topic of cool climate, I mean, you just showed me a picture. I mean, now we are here in the middle of summer and it's 30 degrees. And you could say, okay, how much cool climate is it actually here in Switzerland? But you just showed me a picture from April where you had 60 centimeters snow.
Yeah. The wine was already growing. It was 10 centimeters big. Yeah. And we got 17th of April, we got 60 centimeters of snow.
60 centimeters of snow in April.
That was perfect. That's exactly the height of the Rebstock then.
Before we dive into the winery, taste some wines, learn a bit about your philosophy, etc., let's start with our introduction questions that everybody gets.
Of course.
First question for you. If you would not be a winemaker today, what would be the alternative in your life?
Complicated, but I think something around food, maybe cook. My brother is a cook, then maybe it helps. And something like that, something tasting things and aromas and smelling and everything around that.
Something with a natural product, I hear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And doing stuff myself.
With your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. You are a winemaker. Your brother is a cook, as a chef. Perfect. A person or something that really inspired your style of winemaking and your philosophy?
Yeah, but we're always inspired. Each day, each year is new inspiration. It can be friends and colleagues from other regions, friends from the young Swiss winemakers, friends abroad in France, in Burgundy, Jura, like that. But if I have to choose one person, then it's someone for me. It's my parents that started that gave me something really cool and already cool. That I don't have too much to do to start, and I can already have fun with winemaking.
Wonderful. And actually, you are only second generation winemaker, right, for your family?
Exactly. Yeah. The estate was founded in 93, and I took it over in 21. But yeah, it's I'm only the second generation, but my parents built it well, I think, and it was a great job. And they made tough decisions, and they made good ones.
Beautiful. Third question. That's the mean one. You and your personality as a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I have something from the Alps for sure. pure Alps product. I think Cornala. I would be happy to be a bottle of Cornala. First of all, I think I would have some nice years in front of me. Still, and it's pure. Also, it like steep vineyards. It like sun. So it's defined me pretty well, I think.
And you have one, I guess.
Yes, we will taste.
We will taste it later. Okay, looking much forward to it and see the similarities and to yourself. Last question before we dive into that: nature. What does it mean for you when working with wine?
So
I mean,
it's
look at it.
exactly. It's first of all, it's around us all the time, each day of the year. So we enjoy it first. Then sometimes it can make things harder, but also incredible. So we cannot do anything without it. We cannot change it. So we deal with it and we enjoy it the most of the time.
Wonderful. With those words, can you introduce briefly to us the winery Mabillard-Fuchs?
Yes, so we're a small winery in the Valais, so between the Rhone Glacier, that is east of us, and the Lake Geneva. So we're in the Swiss Rhone Valley. In Ventôme, we have 3.5 hectares, so we're pretty small, but we can do everything ourselves. That is really great. That is what I love. And yeah, we have 8 to 10 different grape varieties because we're in Switzerland, and we always like to do it. Most of them are indigenous, autochtone. So most of them are also very old. I think about Humagno Blanc. That is the oldest grape variety that we know in Valais, first written in 1313.
1313, that's when
It's
Humagno Blanc
it's
comes back.
a
Okay.
paper found in the valley behind us.
Okay. Jose, I guess Jose Williamos has been finding it, right?
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
if somebody found like old papers about grape varieties, it was him.
Exactly. So yeah, we're working with indigenous grape variety the most we can. We have some international but historical. So like Pinot that has been here for a few hundred years, or Syrah. Pinot is more for the high altitude. And yeah, we're in the second year of organic certification because yeah, we want to have grass in our vineyards. That's important for me. That was important for my parents, and it's still important for me. Yeah.
And you have steep slopes. Some of them 50 degrees.
Exactly. The maximum we have is 50 degrees, and on average we're around 35-40%.
35-40%. Okay.
That's pretty steep, but we only know that, so we think it's okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit like when I had the interviews with the winemakers from the Valais in Germany.
Yeah.
And of course, you talk a lot about the flooding that has been there a couple of years ago. And then all like winemakers from other regions came and supported them. And the guys from Rheinhessen were always like, why are you doing that, right? Are you crazy? But yeah, as you say, if you don't know anything else, right? I mean, you get used to it, right?
It's just normal for us. A lot of different little plots. Very steep.
And for tasting something, like quickly rounding off the grape variety part, I asked you earlier what you think about PVs, and you had a very, very direct and pragmatic answer in terms of doesn't suit Valais.
For Valais, at least we didn't find anything that was at the right place. So it was ripening too early, and we already have so much grape varieties. It's complicated to bring new one inside. We probably for the next year we will more make less grape variety than more.
Yeah, okay.
Then
more
it's
focused.
More focused, and then it doesn't make so much sense for me, at least, to bring PVs in.
Yeah. And I found it really interesting that you say like they're ripening too early.
For Valais, yeah.
For Valais, because this really like also like proves this cool climate that we actually have here, this alpine climate, right? I mean,
yeah, we're in between. We're in Switzerland, so it's cool climate, but we're in the hottest part of Switzerland, so we kind of in between.
It's a little bit like yeah, I can see that. Let's taste something. So you brought some white wine for us.
Payen,
yeah.
Payen, Haida. Payen is in French, Haida in German, and the grape variety is Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc.
So like in French Jura, it's been grown in Valais at least for 500 years. So it's an historical, not indigenous, but historical grape variety. It's known for Wiesperteminen, the highest vineyards from Valais.
And they're how high? The highest ones in Valais?
1,100 meters high.
1,100 meters, okay. And also like, because we didn't see the label, but we linked to the bottles definitely in the show notes. I mean, this is your label, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We can maybe like show it quickly in the camera, yeah?
You can do it. This is the
label.
labels. So we're in Valais. So when my parents tried to find a label, they said It's valleys, it's mountains and vineyards, so mountains and wines. So this is the view we have from almost all our vineyards.
This is really, I really like the nose of it. What is this relating to?
So it's an historical grape variety from Valais. It's at least 500. It's been at least 500 years that it's been grown here, and yeah, it's more for the altitude. It's a bit higher than here. The vineyards are a bit higher than here, and yeah,
it's very fresh.
Aromatic.
Yeah, but very mineral aromatic also, like a bit grassy, a little bit fresh. I have this like nice gooseberry and kiwi touch to it.
Yeah,
like
I
very
understand it. Yeah,
nice green fruit, but not green apple. More like
and something minty.
Yeah, exactly.
Fresh.
Something herbal. Yeah, so it really says summer and terrace and vineyard view.
Exactly.
Oh, and it's really strong, spicy acidity actually.
Yeah, it's dense.
Yeah,
with acidity.
Wow.
And you find again this aromatic. There is a lot of aromatic.
Really, also this like what you said, mint is really present there for me actually. It's really nice actually because it really has this. I mean, it sounds maybe like a bad comparison, but the refreshing toothpaste characteristic somehow. You know, it's really. I mean, again, like 28 degrees and sunshine really makes you want more of this wine.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This panorama.
That drinks, that's desalterating, and it makes you how do you say salive. It's long.
It really lingers around there actually. It has some like nice mineral salty finish. It's really beautiful actually. So your white wines, you just told me earlier in the winery, you just use stainless steel?
Exactly, yeah, stainless steel, because quantities are not that big and it's complicated, always complicated. I didn't find the right way to bring barrique in that.
Yeah, and we were talking a bit about up there because your winery is very, let's say, compact, right? I mean, we are on the mountains, so it's not just so easy to like extend, right? I mean, when I was parking my car on your property, I was like really careful because next to your parking spot, it just goes down. And I was like, okay, let's better not try that. So, I mean, naturally, it would be easy to say, hey, you want to experiment with a lot of stuff. I also ask you about your perspective on concrete eggs, right, and amphora and so on. But you were just like, yeah, maybe, but where?
Where exactly? Yeah, no place. So I'm not against it, but it's complicated to find the place and to arrange everything so that it's also cool to walk in.
Yeah,
because you have to be there a few days in the week, and you have to have a good environment to work.
So you do everything yourself, everything by hand. You have these 3.5 hectares where you are every day in the vineyard.
Exactly.
You do all the winemaking. You told me at the moment 2 employees for the summertime.
Yeah, they come for 2 months.
The canopy and so on and so forth. And otherwise, your parents are
and my parents
supporting you still
in the business in the estate.
And this is basically, you also like told me that is the way you like it. You really prefer it, right? I heard it also from many.
Yeah, I need to be in the vineyards.
Yeah,
I need to in winter, in summer, every time I need to see every plant 1 time, 2 times, 3 times in the year.
You couldn't spend your days in the office. I hear.
No. There is no office in the winery. That's the easiest way.
But this also means that you have no intention of growing.
No. First of all, because the winery is the biggest we can have, so I have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I like really being and doing. And I think I'm more precise also because of that.
Yeah, okay.
I can be more precise. I never do something just because I think this vineyard is ready to know. Yeah. I went in there, I did the stuff, and then I choose what I do. And I think I'm more precise.
And where did you learn to make wine? Because as a second generation winemaker, of course, let's say the family tradition to look back to is very short and overseeable. Of course, you learned probably something from your father. First of all, how did he learn to make wine? And then
same way I did. We went to the same school in Switzerland. We have only one school, which is Changin, that makes viticulture and enology. So my parents did that, both of them.
Okay.
They met there, and then they came back in Valais to start the estate. And I went there also. And then I wanted to go to some other countries to see other stuff, to open the mind, because we're in the valley, the mountains are big, and sometimes the mind is a little bit close, like the landscape. So after 3 years in Changin, I worked 2 years in Chambolle-Musigny. That was great with today a friend that has the same age as me, that was taking over his parents' estate. So that was wonderful experience, a lot of things to do. And then I went to the northern Rhone Valley.
Northern Rhone Valley, okay.
To get some steepness, some sun, to make to be ready to come back in Valais.
Okay, and so you learned, so to say, also like to make red wine in Burgundy. Then?
I learned a lot of red wine. Yeah. I learned Pinot and Syrah.
Pinot and Syrah.
But
okay.
You don't learn anything in reality. You learn to try to what you can try, but at the end you don't have the same soil, you don't have the same climate, so you don't learn a recipe.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, that's true. But
you
I mean,
just learn to.
I think it's still like good, like with grape varieties like Pinot Noir, for example, to learn from some like really experienced winemakers, right, who have done this like for many generations and have a certain reputation for that, because it is a difficult grape variety. Everybody says so.
It's difficult, right? Yeah. But it's also making it a lot. When you're in Burgundy, you do on the same surface as I have here, you can make 10, 12 different Pinots.
Yeah.
Then you do it 2 years and you make 24 Pinots, and I need 25 years to do that. So you learn, you gain experience, and then it's easier.
Yeah.
You have seen more stuff, more difficulties, more issues, and you have some solution maybe that you've seen.
So now we are where we already are in the soil debate and the terroir debate. I mean, this is Alpine. Of course, we see it with the landscape here. Everything was shaped by, how we call it, like collision of plates and
glacier.
So you have 13 different parcels that you work with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it like I imagine that every parcel just has a different soil type or soil composition because of that, or how crazy? More or less. Okay.
If you want to, you can go very deep, and then everything is different.
Yeah.
Because they don't have as much water, the one and the other. But if you want to synthesize this, then it's 3 main type of soil on this village. You have the moraine, then the glacier deposit. When the glacier was here 10,000, 15,000 years ago, it made deposit on the side, very big piles of rock if you want. It's just that that's the only soil we have, piles of rocks.
Okay.
It's just where it comes from. Some of them come directly from the glacier. Here where we are, there is a big rock slide. You can see it there. There was a big rock slide that make all the hills behind us. And so here we are on this type of soil, very calcareous, very, very calcareous. And the last one is shales. You have some shales, calcareous shales, but it's not very much. But that's the 3 type of soil you can find here.
And the winemaking tradition in the region. I mean, you just told me that Valais is like about 5,000 hectares, so a third of the Swiss vineyard area.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's fairly old, right? The winemaking traditions here.
Yeah. So as I said, you have some grape variety that we know of since more than 700 years. That today are only grown here in Valais, and on small, very small surface. And for example, we're here in Les Grands Raies, and Grand Raies, first time it's written with vineyard on it. It's 1342.
1342, okay.
So, but
the tradition essentially goes back to Roman times, I assume, or
we were influenced by Roman. By us, it's not like on Lake Geneva, that's not the monks that built everything. That's really people that they had always cows, some vineyards, some orchards, and that was the living in this Alpine region.
Also, like a little bit, probably like your family started, because you said your
Yeah,
parents first
my
had like
grandparents
more like your
had
grandparents.
5,000 square meters, and that was just
Half a
for
hectare,
fun, not for fun for money, but on the side. That
Yeah.
was not their
selling grapes, right?
exactly
just,
selling grapes.
Selling
Yeah.
grapes. Okay, so typical story how
And
this
that's
evolved.
in the 80s that
Yeah.
we really started, that people started to make bottles.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. You have some red wine for us
Yeah.
too, right? In Switzerland, everything is beautiful. I love it. And with that being said, introduce some.
Yeah, we told
red wine.
before Cornana.
Gonna.
Cornana 23.
And this grape variety, just
Indigenous grape variety.
Indigenous,
It has
okay.
some link with Aosta Valley, so Italy. But today it's only grown. In Valais.
That's very interesting to me. It has some, so of course, like some really fresh, like fruit driven components, like lots of cherries actually. But also like deeper aronia berries to me.
Okay, yeah. But cherry is the typical aroma that you find in Cornana.
Yeah, but it's even like very dark cherry to me. Also like sour cherry, very
and
white
something
cherry.
from the cairn.
Yeah, from the cherry, yeah, from the stone, yeah.
Exactly.
But also like it's kind of interesting. It reminds me actually a lot of like, now we talked about Côte d'Iron. I have a little bit of black olives in the nose, so I feel like
something
a little bit
spicy,
reminded of that, and something smoky, but
yeah, we have some barrel aging on that one. Also, not some. We have only we have 10 months of barrel. Also,
but actually, interestingly,
big barrel.
Big barrel. You use the 450-liter barrels, yeah? The double casks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just saw them from Massot actually, really beautiful. Yeah, but the interesting thing here is, it's not floral. It's for me, there's no like flowers in it or something like this. It's really just like fresh, fruity, rustique in style somehow, but still like very elegant on the palate. Really, actually, the tannin structure is very interesting, because it has tannins, it has grip, but not at all in a strong way. But I'm really puzzled like where to put the tannin levels here, because
there is nothing green in the tannins.
Yeah,
there is a big, kind of a big mass of tannin, but it's already smooth, already okay. It's already ready to. You don't. How to say it? You
don't have to age it for 100 years.
You can, no problem, but you
but
already have pleasure when you open it.
Yeah.
Now.
Not like young Bordeaux.
Exactly. Yeah.
But how long can it age, in your opinion? What is the oldest that you tried?
Last week, 2001. That was the first. The first vintage of Cornana from my parents, and I would say it can age more.
So bringing that back to your personality, how does this grape variety reflect your personality?
So first of all, as I said, it's the environment also. So it's what it's like, what the grapes likes, and then it's not always so easy to at first approach. It was a little smoky at first, and then it comes with fruit, but yeah, it's a pure Alpine product. It's like me.
It's really beautiful. And what's the alcohol? It's fairly light, right? It's like 12% or
13.5.
13.5. Okay, I don't feel.
But you have a lot of density.
Yeah.
So this is really. I don't make. There is not. The yield is not big. We do 30, 35 hectoliters per hectare.
Okay,
on that.
That's really.
So you have the density that smoothen everything. Yeah, you can have a lot of alcohol, you don't see it. You can have a lot of tannin, you don't see it really. It's everything is already in harmony.
Given those, now you presented to us like two very grape varieties that are like very much bound to this region and have a lot of history in this region. And this is, as you also said, very typical for Valais. What's your outlook for, let's say, the next 30 years? Global warming, etc. Are these grape varieties, are they suited for global warming? Can they cope with that in the long run? What kind of challenges do you see there?
They are adapted. the question is, but we have some with the high amplitude of altitude we have, we can put them higher. We have this possibility to progressively bring them a little bit higher. So I don't think that it will be a definitive problem for viticulture in Valais, because we have the steep and the altitude. But we have to think differently. We have to really, and when you plant a new vineyard, you have to think not today, not what do I need or what works now. You have to think, okay, I need something that is okay now and will be better in 30 years.
In 30 years,
or 50, because on my side, I would be happy if I plant these vineyards for 50, 60 years. So you have to think it a little bit differently. You have to think it also on the water level. So
water management,
really think what grape variety needs water and not, because you need to be really precise on that. And
that is a big problem that you have here too, right? Like everybody else, water management is really the big issue, right?
Yeah, because we have glacier now.
Yeah.
But how will it be?
Not in 20 years, probably. No? And rain, I mean, you also just told me, of course you had the snow event there in April, but since then basically
since then,
it's dry.
70, 80 millimeters rain.
I mean, the stories that we
that's okay. We see that the vineyard is not suffering.
No.
It's okay. But it's kind of complicated. It was a bit scary for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenges are for everybody the same, but it's interesting to hear that, I mean, your varieties here probably are fairly adapted, and also often old varieties tend to cope a little bit better with change, right? Because maybe something in their DNA just says, okay, we had this before, or we had these fluctuations before. And
that's old varieties. These old varieties, they were kind of, they weren't planted in a period because it was complicated to bring them ripe with a big yield.
Okay.
But today
it's easy.
We don't yield a lot, and we get this. Yeah, so it's adapted now.
Wonderful.
Now it's perfect. Humano Rouge is perfect now.
Humano Rouge is perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I urge people to try. I mean, we see you and many other Swiss quality winemakers at the Cool Climate Summit again in January.
Yes,
I'm looking much forward to. I think we have a really strong Swiss team, as we discussed before. It's good that
we're happy to come.
The Swiss present themselves, especially the young winemakers from the Vigneron Jeunes de Suisse.
Exactly.
Many of them.
Yeah, we come in
you
group.
are also members there. Exactly. Yeah, you come in a group, you party, and you sell some wine, right?
Exactly,
I
and we share some wine.
No, I think it's very important also. We talked a lot about it. I feel in terms of the new generation of winemakers from Switzerland, right? I mean, 2% of Swiss wine, or even less, is exported today. And you young winemakers also want to change that. You want to put Switzerland really on the
on the
for
map.
wine drinkers.
Yeah, we want people to know what we do.
Yeah.
We want to share it with a lot of people of different regions, not only here. We want people to know and to have the opportunity to taste it and to make up their mind.
And as you told me, ski resort 10 minutes from here, right?
Yeah, on the other side, 10 minutes from here, a ski resort.
I think everybody who's going skiing in Switzerland should next time quickly look for winery close by, because there are probably quite many.
Yeah, and in Switzerland you find wineries almost everywhere. So wherever you go, check it up. Maybe there is something not that far away.
Final question for you, 5 years from now. Where are you? Where is Mabillard-Fuchs?
I will be for sure in the vineyard. And we hope that Mabillard-Fuchs is the same, and that more and more people get to taste our wines and know what we do in general in Valais, and in particular us. And we will do everything possible to achieve that.
I love that. Cheers on stability and sharing the good message of Swiss wine and Mabillard-Fuchs. See you in January.